Hi, everyone, and welcome to the preview show delivered by FedEx. I'm Marty Snider from NBC Sports. Say hello to Chris Rice from Kaulig Racing, also right here at NASCAR.com. What an amazing finish at Chicagoland with Kyle Larson and Kyle Busch. Chris, I want to know where that kind of ranks for you among all-time great finishes.
Oh, it was amazing. It almost goes back to the passing the grass from back at Charlotte with Dale Earnhardt, Bill Elliott. I was just amazed what Kyle Busch did getting in turn 3. I mean, Kyle wasn't going to make that corner if he didn't use Kyle Larson, so it was amazing. I still have cold chills from it. It was crazy, the finish.
What I loved is how they got out of the car, and both of them said that was fun, and neither one of them was mad about it, and that's great sportsmanship. You know, we always talk about the big three, so I'm wondering, as Kyle Larson now said, hey, I'm the fourth player in this, or is it Clint Boyer that's really the fourth player in that? Because he had 3 extra trips down pit road and still finished in the top 5.
We have this debate. I think we're going on 3 weeks having this debate, and I do feel Clint Boyer is still your guy that can go out and take a win away from the top 3, okay? So I'm telling you, Clint Boyer, you cannot speed, you cannot do crazy things on pit road. It always bites you. It always bites you. So Clint Boyer is my guy over Kyle Larson, even though Kyle Larson was going to win the race, maybe. That is the guy that can beat the big 3.
It's amazing the speed that Kyle Larson, that 42 team, are showing. All right, back to
the only Chevy. I want to bring that up. He's the only Chevy that can make that speed.
And we'll talk about Chevys in a second. Back to Daytona, which is incredible to me. I mean, we're already around to July, which is amazing in the 2018 season. Do some teams honestly view this weekend, the Coke Zero Sugar 400, as their best shot to make the playoffs?
Absolutely. I feel you go into this weekend, you're trying to stay away from the wrecks, and what you're trying to do is get into playoffs. If you're kicked out of the playoffs, look at Alex Bowman. All he's doing is being consistent, being consistent, being consistent. He goes out and get a win, then he can go for better finishes. But I'm telling you, this weekend is the big weekend to go out and get a win. During the race, something can happen to anybody else. You can go out and get a win and get yourself in the playoffs.
It is hard to believe that Chevrolet has one win, and it came at Daytona in February when Austin Dillon won the Daytona 500. So sort of just give me an assessment of where the Cup Series program is for Chevrolet. You talked about Kyle Larson and his speed in a moment ago, but just give me an assessment of kind of where you feel like that program is.
Well, I don't feel it's that great. I feel that they've missed the boat throughout the year. We watched Toyota come in with a brand new car. It took them 10, 11 races, but they had speed. A couple of cars had speed, but right now, no Chevrolet has speed other than Kyle Larson. Then you look throughout the field, Hendrick doesn't have a lot of speed. RCR definitely hadn't had a lot of speed throughout the year. Yes, they won at Daytona, but they hadn't had a lot of speed, so I don't feel it's great, and they better do something quick if they want to get into playoffs and be a contender to go to Homestead.
All right, even in February, where it's very cool in Daytona, we've heard the word handling creep in. This surface is getting a little more worn at Daytona, so how big of a key is handling going to be Saturday night if you want to win this race?
Well, I've talked to my driver over and over and over. Handling is going to be huge this weekend. The temperatures are going to be crazy high. Even though it's at night, it's still going to be crazy high. The asphalt's going to be crazy in temperature, so I'm telling you, handling is going to be big. Off of turn 4, we've seen it happen so many times. People spin out. Jimmy Johnson's done it a lot because they get their cars so free. They want to turn well. And the next thing you know, they lose rear grip. So handling's going to be huge, and you better be able to stay in the gas the entire run. If you can do that, we've seen Dale Earnhardt Jr. do it a lot, you're going to be able to win that race and be a contender for sure.
All right, time to make our NASCAR Fantasy Live picks. Who are you going to go with this weekend, Chris?
Well, you know who I like the most, and I just talked about him, Denny Hamlin. I don't know why I'm picking Denny Hamlin this weekend other than I feel he's in the right place. He knows he can't really get up there and contend at the 1.5 miles in the short tracks yet, but they're working on it. They can get some momentum. Leaving Daytona, they're going to be somebody to look at the end of the year going into the playoffs.
It's crazy that I put this team in this category, but we talk about must-win teams. I honestly feel like Jimmy Johnson and his team are in that position. They're putting a lot of eggs in their basket this weekend, so I'm going to go Jimmy Johnson to win this weekend on Saturday night at Daytona.
That's probably the fan favorite, and they want him to win, but I'm telling you, Denny Hamlin's going to give him a run for his money for sure.
All right, make sure you check out NASCAR.com all weekend long. Live leaderboards, in-car audio during the race, and then before and after the race as well, all the news updates you want from the Coke Zero Sugar 400. Make sure you catch it Saturday night, 7 p.m. Eastern on NBC. You don't want to miss it.